is now live, just waiting for people to come in. And people are joining. Wendy, Cheryl, hello, how are you? Good to see you. So, hi Fiona, it's nice to see everybody coming in. We have quite a lot of people signed up for this, but as usual, I mean, a lot of people don't. Sylvia, how are you? Gita, Angela, Adrian. Oh, it's just so nice. It's just Susan, hello. Lorna, it's just so weird that we are still doing this thing. And I say every time, it's lovely to see everybody coming into this, but I wish we were all actually in a lovely 5-star hotel somewhere in a conference room with a glass of wine, because that would be so nice. But in the absence of that, we thought we'd do these board huddles every 2 weeks. And I think it's fair to say that for all of us, it's actually got us through, you know, parts of what have been a really weird year. And we thought that prior to Christmas, we would open this up and get together a bit, you know, have a bit of a virtual drink, hello, have a chat. So as usual, if you have any questions, just put them into the chat box. You can see the little button for the chat box, or you can put them in the Q&A. It's entirely up to you. I'll keep those going. But we have 2 questions. Hi, Peggy. She says, glad to see you all in your holiday outfits. We're all in holiday jumpers, more or less. And we thought we would have just 2 questions. And hi, Elise, thank you for that. It's good to see you. It's really nice to have comments in the chat box. Thank you. So we decided we would just kick off with a couple of questions. So basically, we're going to just go around as a group and say, what did you learn from 2020? And what are you looking forward to in 2021? I think, if it's all right, I will start with our president. Michelle, how are you? I can't hear you. This is it. That's the quote of the year.
Hear me?
Hey!
Hello, everyone. I'm very well. Thank you, Dom.
Good.
And, well, I was thinking about what did I learn? Not quite sure what I learned, but I think that I learned to tune in to sounds. And especially I learned that I got really excited when I heard an airplane. And what am I looking forward to most in 2021? Hugging and hugging again. I'm looking for hugs. Yes, that's me.
That's so true, isn't it? It's been those little things. I mean, all the way through, we've all been talking to each other about, you know, the amount of things we've all missed. You know, we've missed celebrations, we've missed birthdays, we've missed get-togethers, we've missed travel. So, Susanna, Vice President, lovely to see you. Oh, you're taking your hat off. We liked your hat.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, I took my hat off. It was quite hot. I'll put it on again later. But it was getting quite hot.
Please join me in the hat team.
Yeah. I'll have to put it back on then.
Okay, sorry. Oh, very good. Now I'm hatless. Well, that's what I like. How are you, Susanna?
I'm well. Everything's good. Everything's as good as can be under the circumstances. So yeah. And for me, one of the most important things, and it's not that I've learned it, but it kind of brings it home a lot more, is the human aspect of everything, of life. How important it is to have good people around you that are there for chats, and how amazing it is that people pull together when things are tough and make things happen. And that to me has just brought it home a lot more than ever. So that's one of the big things I've not learned, but it's brought it home again. So that was one of the things that I've learned from this. And the other thing maybe is that change can happen at any time, and it's not, you can't plan or take anything for granted. But whatever happens, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and there's no obstacle too high to jump. Everything will work out in the end. So those are the 2 things that I've kind of been thinking about for 2020.
Your optimism this year, and whenever we've had these meetings, your optimism has, you know, been infectious. Thank you for that. What are you looking forward to from next year?
Well, 2021, I hope that we can then carry out all those projects that both personally and professionally, that we wanted to carry out in this annus horribilis, but haven't managed. So hopefully 2021 will let us do that. And the other thing is, let globalization restart again. Let's move around and meet people and see people and get out. So I think that for me is also very important.
Thank you so much, Susanna. And again, sorry, I forgot to say, Michelle, you're in Copenhagen, Susanna, you're in Madrid. And I mean, again, you know, we spoke several times across the year about the differences at the beginning of all this. The differences between the two cities were just extraordinary. And now we all find ourselves in a situation that we won't dwell on. Simon Robbins, welcome. It's lovely to see you. You are, along with Sophie, one of our newest two board members. How has this been? I'm going to ask you a slightly different question because you and Sophie joined in this virtual environment. You haven't actually been able to have a physical meeting yet. How's it been?
Yeah, it's not been unusual, should we say? I mean, not being able to get together with you guys, but the welcome from you guys via the Zoom meetings has been great, and being able to talk and discuss ideas, even though we're not face to face, so to speak, is important, and it's been really appreciated. So for me, it's been okay. I'd love to have been in meetings, you know, and actually being able to discuss things like we have been doing over the course of this time, but you know, needs must. I think what I've learned from 2020 is that to enjoy life, whatever it throws at you, you know, take it by the bull horns, I was going to say, but something else, and actually take life. And the other thing I've learned, really importantly for me personally, is that exercise is not only good for your body, but it's actually good for your mental health. Mm-hmm. And at these times when I think that can suffer quite big. And what I'm really looking forward to actually is meeting face to face or mask to mask, because I think it will be for a long time. Being able to have client meetings, network meetings, proper sales meetings as we would normally have had in the past. Having Zoom sales meetings aren't always the same thing, are they? They're not, you know, capturing that. So I'm really looking forward to the day. Now that may not be until the third quarter of 2021, but there will become a day.
There will come a day. There will indeed become a day. Elisa, thank you for saying that. Resilience, she has said, is a key thing to take away from this year. I agree with you so much, Simon, especially about the exercise thing. It's like, you know, we've got into this routine. Well, I'll talk about that later. Sophie, can I come to you as our newest board members? You know, we're so used to all being together, but it's been great having the creativity of you two join, especially given that this is so virtual and weird. How are you?
So Simon and I are actually quite offended that you needed to come up with a global pandemic to avoid us attending any board meetings. No, it's been good. I think it's probably, but maybe that's just me being pretty simple. I've not had the pleasure of enjoying board meetings, so this is all I know, and you know, it is what it is. And I think that we've all have learned a big lesson in adaptability this year, and how able we are to adapt, and as Elisa said, be resilient. So yeah, it's been good. I'm very happy to be on board. I think our bi-weekly calls are super happy, and they're always quite a happy part of my week. And yeah, everybody's always smiling, helps.
Do you get a little depressed, Sophie, every time you see the photographs that come out on the group?
Yeah, that's also why I never comment.
This is where we were last year. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, or the year before. Or look at us having a really nice drink here. And I don't know if anybody's realised, but Simon and I never comment.
Do you know, I didn't really.
I'm joking, Dom. I'm joking.
No, but it's funny because you say that, and it's true. I mean, and you just take it for granted. I mean, I was looking. We have just for everyone listening, we have a WhatsApp group, obviously, and we posted some photographs of we were somewhere beautiful in the sun. We might do it at a conference, and we were like, "Oh yeah, that was lovely." And then you think, oh, "That's so rude because you weren't there." Oh, really bad.
It's not rude. It's not rude. Not at all.
What did you said about adaptability? What did you kind of take away? What are you taking away from this year?
So I think when we speak about what have I learned, the question is what have I not learned? I think that it's been a really, really big year. I have learned that family is everything, that it's okay to not know things, that it's okay to, there's this English saying that says, everything will be okay, and if it's not okay, it's not the end. And I've sort of tried and lived by that the last year, and sort of said, okay, we're going to be okay. And of course, being a German and always having a plan A to Z set out, that's been quite challenging. But I think, you know, we got in March, we didn't know how we'd ever make it to December 2020, and now we're here, and it's yeah, so that's good. And I think in terms of for 2021, it would just be great to travel somewhere and to not worry about needing to be really cautious when you do that, whether it's a conference or a holiday or whatever. But just, I think, you know, in our lives before COVID, you could get annoyed with the fact that we had to spend so much time traveling, and now you're like, please, can I travel? So yeah, it's taught us all. And I think what I'm really looking forward to is worrying less, but not in a sense of like business or whatever, but being less cautious in, am I wearing a mask? Are you wearing a mask? Did you get tested? Where did they come from? Are people close to you in the supermarket? Just to sort of have regain the social aspect in it.
It's so interesting you say that, because it's been such a long time. I was talking to a friend last night who was saying, you know, our neural pathways get reset really quickly, and you're so right about that. And I feel that too. You know, you're in a space with other people, and there's a nervousness which just never existed in any of our lives. That's a very interesting point. Couple of nice comments. Thank you, Marcus. Quite sure that 2021 will be way better. We'll be having a lot of people moving around the globe. Merry Christmas, guys. And Elisa, thank you. On a lighter note, I believe we all learned how to deal with the spouse, the children at home, and finally, how our spouse works. I've learned a lot about that, Elisa.
Daycare, something I'm very grateful for, and you know, getting kids to daycare and school and stuff, big one.
Absolutely, imagine. Isabel Primon, can I come to you? First of all, where are you? I keep forgetting to ask that. Sophie, you're in Germany. So that's, yeah, just so that there's a context. Isabel, how are you?
I'm good. I'm in Brussels. Okay, just the background doesn't show it, but I'm in Brussels. I'm very good. Just like preparing Christmas in less than 48 hours, and I have my daughter back from Lausanne, so we are full family for Christmas. So that's very nice.
Great. Oh, that's lovely. That's really lovely. And how are things?
Like all of you guys, quiet. Quiet. Talking about what I've learned in 2020, I'm joining all of you in the sounds. Yes, I'm so happy when I hear a plane passing by. Has been a while. Resilience, agility, and working from home. That's very new for me. Putting a background on Zoom. So I've learned so much in 2020.
It's a whole different skill set we've all adapted to, isn't it? Wow. What are you looking forward to in the coming year?
Yeah, I think, you know, getting to see each other, social contact, social events, just traveling, board meetings, meeting people, a little bit back to normal with mask is fine. I can deal with that if we can start seeing each other. So all the
Totally agree. Thank you so much. It's always lovely to see you. And yeah, I mean, how long is it? You know, let's not speculate. Let's just move forward with positivity. Alistair, can I come to you? How are you?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, very well indeed. What have I learned? I've learned an amazing amount, I think, in 2020. I think from a work perspective, I've kind of gone full circle. So I remember a long time ago, back in January, my commute to the office was quite long, and I was in the office 5 days a week. And back then, I used to think it'd be nice to work from home a little bit more. And I've definitely gone full circle, having been at home virtually the entire year. And I'd love to be back in the office. I'd love to be commuting and seeing people, and not, you know, having so many online meetings. I think just that personal connection is something that we all really value and really miss. Because it's been a massive learning experience. I was kind of crash course in crisis management in March and April, where I was kind of reading afterwards about what should be done and think, okay, and I think I did that. I think I did that okay. Managed to communicate what was going on in the business at the time. But also I think it's quite interesting from a kind of management perspective. There's been lots of articles I've read about just being quite open and quite honest with your team and not being afraid to show emotion and not necessarily being robotic about it. And I've definitely been through that this year, ups and downs, but probably been quite transparent in those. So I don't think anyone's been under any illusions of how I've been feeling. I think it's just been quite open and quite honest with how things are going. And I think generally people respect that because they don't want me to be cold and calculated and saying it's all just it's just business, it's just numbers, because it's not. It's people's lives. So yeah, it's been a tough year, but also I think from an industry perspective, all the things that we've been talking about for years and how we're going to adapt and innovate and evolve, I think now have to happen. A bit like we were talking about, I think last week on the call with Ronald and Steve and Peggy. All the projects we've been talking about how we're going to become more efficient and adapt. We have to do that now. We have no choice. So that's one of the good things that's come out of 2020. I think the fact that it will push our industry forward.
I think you're so right. The adaptability that we've always known that this industry is extraordinary, but the adaptability that people have shown has just staggered me. I mean, right from the beginning, right from March, everyone was, you all, were saying about how you were pivoting your businesses, how you were pivoting your services. Adaptability is extraordinary. Yes, Susan, adaptability with empathy, Susan says, which is absolutely right. Thank you very much, Alistair. And Irina, can I come to you next?
Yes, please.
How are you? And where are you?
I'm good. I'm in Moscow. I was about to say that we have the beautiful snow, and the weather has been amazing this year across all the season. As never before. We had very clear and beautiful each seasons. So that's nice. Actually, getting to the point, what I learned in 2020 is to appreciate what we have, to take a proper moment and actually appreciate what we have. Because now we're thinking so much about, all this actually great travel, that we enjoyed, and all those meetings that I personally, and the travel that I was nagging about, and now I miss it, And so at some point I realized I don't want to make the same mistake again right now. I want to appreciate what I have here and now. It is a unique time, it is a unique time that I get to spend with my family, with staying at home, staying grounded, taking life very slowly and one day at a time, and being okay that things might not be okay, and that your control is very limited. So I guess this appreciation at a completely new level is what I learned and what I'm taking away from 2020. And what I want from 2021, I guess the normalcy of life, at least a little bit, just to be able to travel when I want to and not when I'm allowed to go out to the restaurant with friends, as I want to at least a little bit to get my life to normal and to its boredom and a little bit more on my terms than on some other people who seem to be guiding our lives these days, even more so than ever before. So yeah, that's me.
Thank you. So, I mean, yes, that's brilliant. I totally agree. It's just so odd we've just never had freedom curtailed like this. And we've all got, I've got to say, we've all gone along with it. Elisa, thank you for the comment you just put in. So finally, we all appreciate what we didn't before. Plane noise, traffic jams while commuting. Although I do not miss the traffic jam here in India. I remember right at the beginning talking with Laurent Christobert, who's based in Ho Chi Minh, where we did an event last year. And the traffic is unbelievable, just unbelievable. And he said during their very short lockdown, there was no traffic. And he said, it was people loved the fact that the lockdown meant there was no one on the road, but it only lasted 2 weeks and then it was back.
Yeah, we got our traffic back very quickly.
Traffic back, yeah, absolutely. Isabel Cudell, how are you and where are you?
Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm in Portugal. It's lovely and sunny, as one expects from Portugal. And we're doing well. I would like to extend season's greetings to everybody out there watching us. And about 2020, what to say, how crazily the world changed in 9 months, and who would have imagined? So what we learned was that companies are resilient, that our teams are adaptable, that our organizations are strong. And I think that confirmation is very reassuring as business managers. So we know we have that capability. I also confirmed, not learned, that throughout networking in organizations such as EuRA, that enabled us to stay connected and informed at all times, and given the opportunity to evolve as global mobility professionals through training while everybody was stopped. First thing EuRA did was to get people, get their brains working and towards professional enhancement. So I believe all those were good things about this year. And also having a bit more time to read industry reports, and that's where the new good news comes, is that there will always be need for global mobility, because global talent is everywhere and it is required in different places of the world, and we are the ones who break the barriers between people and places. So the good news for 2021 is that we will be needed. We will still be needed, even if I am sure many of us had to optimize teams and reassess resources, and that was hard. And I'm speaking from a small company, and I know that a lot of MSMEs out there in the industry who probably went through the same, and it's a very hard thing to do. But as long as we stay resilient, as many people have mentioned already today, we will be back and strong. And where there's an opportunity for growth, I think that's exactly where our intent to focus for 2021 is, focus on the opportunity and look again, at the model of service with the knowledge we have today, reinvent and stay agile. So just like Susanna, my faith and optimism never end. And those are my wishes to everyone for 2020.
Thank you so much. That's great. Very, very interesting. And I love what you're saying about optimism, but also just to bring it to people's attention, you started this crisis with your family a long, long, long way from home.
We were stuck in Chile, Santiago. We were doing it. We were traveling as a family, and yes, all of a sudden we found ourselves in lockdown in a foreign place, just like many of our expats probably went through that. And we were in lockdown for 10 days, and then very strongly advised to just return home. And that was quite an adventure. It took us 3 different flights, lost our luggage in the way. It was either you board or the luggage stays behind. So all kinds of nice stories we hear from clients every time, but we're safe, and that's, I think, what counts and what we all look forward to every day.
I mean, that was exactly, and it just so encapsulated what was to come for so many people that you've all been working with all year, and the crises that people found themselves in. Adrian, thank you for your comment. I have learned that we are far more resourceful than we think. The hiking and walking is a wonderful thing. Calling friends has never been so important. We need to stay in touch. Change is the only constant in life, and change happens in minutes now. It's okay not to be okay. That 2020 has taught me to be a better person, to open my eyes to the important things in life. That's very, very brilliant. Thank you, Adrian. Pierre, by no means, last but by no means least, how are you? First of all, where are you?
I'm sitting in Geneva right now, Geneva, Switzerland. So I have the proof that you don't like me, Dom, because you give me the word after the brilliant comments that my peers have made. It's very difficult to say something intelligent after what I've heard, because it's great, particularly just what Isabel said. It's just amazing, and it's 100% adhere to what Isabel just said. And to you know, what I've learned or my experience during that period in 2020, I will say two major things. A, I have heard the sound of silence, because during the first lockdown, no plane, almost no car. And as we live in the countryside, you could really hear the silence. And I think that was like for the first time ever, because you have always a plane. We live in valleys over here, so you have always noise. So I could hear the sound of silence. And as I went to the mountain last weekend, and you know, a lot of ski resorts are closed and you cannot use the ski lift. I would like to pay tribute to the man or the woman who invented the ski lift, because I had to walk 2.5 hours for 10 minutes way down. So I don't know who that person is, but that's a hero we should be celebrating. But to be more serious, I think that our industry is pretty unique because we are small teams, we're small organizations. Even the big ones are small compared to the other industry companies. But we are so international, and during all that pandemic, we have been able to keep in touch. Of course, we all miss, the hugs. We all miss the great times where the board was meeting. I remember our last run in the morning that we had in Seville. I can mention it was in Seville. Was at the beginning. It was in March. Well, we all miss that, but I think what brings us together is much stronger than what divides us. And we need to remain, really optimistic. I think, as Isabel said, the world needs us because people will keep moving, because even during the lockdown, people kept moving. So they need us, and we are agile. We are full of energy, creativity, and I think that's fantastic. So as all my peers said, let's keep optimistic, give a big shout. For now, the hugs are virtual, but they soon will be for real. So best wishes to everybody, and keep the spirit.
Thank you, Pierre. Thank you. And again, from all of this year, thank you for your humor. You've kept us all positive, and thank you so much. Tad.
Can I just add on to something that I thought Adrian wrote something that was really lovely when he said, it's okay not to be okay. I think in the first lockdown, it was so, everybody thought this would be over really soon, and everybody was so focused on, I've now taken up, I don't know, crocheting. I'm now a chess player. I've learned a new language. I've developed 27 new business models. I've applied for patents for whatever. And I think that it really took a time for everybody to be able to say, okay, listen, I'm really not enjoying this, and I'm really not okay, and I'm really struggling with my kids being at home, or everybody in home office, or it's quite difficult. And I think that being able to sort of vocalize and speak about I'm really not okay with your peers is something that we've learned this year.
You're so right. And I think it was you actually who said that quite early on in one of our huddles, that it's very difficult to be the person, all of you are the people at the top of your organizations, and you're therefore responsible for keeping everybody else motivated and positive. And that's so hard. But everybody that I've spoken to, all of the leaders in our amazing industry have really, really focused on that. And that's tough. Like you say, Adrian, it's okay not to be okay. And I think, yeah. Tad, are you okay?
I wasn't this morning. Sure.
Real COVID meltdown, didn't you?
I did indeed. Yes. So what have I learned? I've learned all sorts of things. I've learned that I can change, which is quite strange because I thought I couldn't. One thing I have learned, which is rather depressing, is how to postpone things. I've also learned how to get money back from deposits, which is more positive. But also I've learned that, if it's postponed, it's not cancelled. So it will happen at some point. I think I've learned that Dominic has poor tastes in jumpers. He gave me this.
How rude.
And one thing the most amazing thing, I suppose, really is my mother has been with us for 6 months. I have not spent that much time with one of my parents since I was about 5, because I used to go to kindergarten at the time. But we've all been in the same house. but we've all got along. And I've also learned that people are much kinder these days than they were before, and much more thoughtful and helpful. And everybody says hello to everybody when you go for a walk, which, yes, Simon, you mentioned exercise, extremely important. Going out, walking, seeing the same people, seeing new people. And it's been good. And the thing about silence, in the first lockdown, the road, which is not far away, was completely silent. The only thing I would say is that we do get quite a lot of airplanes flying over, but they're generally going to the American Air Base, which is about 10, 15 kilometers down the road. So we've heard lots of planes, but at one point we were not hearing any cars, especially in the middle of the night. Very noticeable in the middle of the night, no cars. So there you go. That's me. What about Dominic? You've learned how to be a
Board to, Tad.
what? Oh, look forward to. Oh, good Lord, sorry. Oh, finally having a conference.
Yes.
Getting together, hugging people.
No, we want the hugging thing.
What?
The hugging thing is so...
Oh, incredibly important. Incredibly important. And just seeing people, I mean, just actually, and also seeing people without face masks, it's very difficult sometimes to recognize somebody with a face mask on. And you go somewhere and you think, I know that, I kind of know that sort of figure, but I don't know who it is. And after a while, you suddenly realize, I know exactly who that is. Then you go up and say hello to them, and they're all of a sudden they're going, oh God, it's you. So it's nice to be with people, see people, talk to people, hug people, and just carry on, make EuRA even greater than it already is. That's what I want.
Thank you, Tad. Some nice comments. Peggy, love. I love how we've really come full circle. I like what you did there, Peggy. That was the name. How important it is to talk to people, colleagues, clients, family, friends, not being satisfied with a text or an email, but needing a good old-fashioned way of communicating. You guys are great. I've missed seeing you at the full board meeting. Can't wait till we can all be together again. Happy Christmas and a great start to 2021. Thank you, EuRA, for keeping us all together. Thank you, Peggy. Adrian Leach, thank you again. I have also learned that those who are often the lowest paid are the most important in our society. Oh, stop. Nurses, supermarket workers, bus drivers, road sweepers. We didn't really need the billionaire hedge fund managers, but we did need the garbage men. Well, okay, we do need the billionaire hedge fund manager because his company can afford my relocation fees when he leaves London for Paris. Nice one, Adrian.
I think that's such a great point that Adrian's just made. Because I remember right at the start when people were saying that this virus is indiscriminate and everyone's treated the same, and actually all those people that Adrian's just mentioned who are low paid were actually more at risk because they were going to work, and it was actually relatively easy to be working from home and sitting at a laptop. Not easy for people that are healthcare workers or are, you know, working in a supermarket. They were the ones that were more at risk and actually were being paid less. And so it's such a fantastic point, I think, that he's made.
Yeah,
it really is, and that echoes what I've learned from this year. That appreciation has to come in many forms to many people who do many amazing things that are taken for granted. And what I'm looking forward to the most, and whenever it happens, is just the feeling of being. I'll tell you, when we were in Dubrovnik at the conference, the very first people to come into the Sun Gardens was Irina and her team. And that feeling of being in that venue when the members start to arrive for that event is just indescribable. It's the greatest kind of fellowship and friendship, and I can't wait till #EuRA will be together again. Susan, thank you. Thank you, Dom, Tad, and EuRA Board for your optimism, desire to share and outreach to members. EuRA has been the glue to keep us together. That's extremely kind of you to say. I would like to say, I'd like to hand my last words to Michelle, please. Hello.
Hello. I didn't know I would have this lovely honor. from the bottom of my heart to all of you listening, that I'm sorry we can't see your faces, and to all my fantastic colleagues on this board and our great and fantastic leaders, a very heartfelt, warm, hyggeligt, happy holiday season. This is like the icing on the cake, or the Rudolph's nose on the
Reindeer.
God, Susanna, help me. Have a lovely, safe holiday. And I want to add too that we've been so lucky in Denmark to really have not experienced the hardship of, say, what Spain has gone through. And we're going to get a little taste of it this next week. From the 25th, everything will be closed. No shop, except for, of course, grocery and pharmacy. But that's going to be new for us, to have everything shut until the 3rd of January. So keep safe, keep happy, keep smiling. We're going to see, we'll be together again in 2021.
I'm just going to read the last comments that have come through. Fiona Moody, thank you. I think that we have all really learned how wonderful the EuRA family is and how supportive all the members are. Whew. We've had the opportunity of discussions, webinars, and exchanging more than ever. What I seriously have found is that gratefulness for every small thing is of the utmost importance. Thank you, EuRA. Pierre, very good point. A thought for the lorry drivers who are waiting at the Dover border a few days before Christmas. It's a tough job. I'd like to have a thought for them. Thank you very much. Sylvia, have a wonderful, safe, and healthy Christmas, and good riddance to 20.
Oh, that's a good point. Can I say something, Dom?
Yes, go ahead, please.
I have to say something, because one thing that you have learned, or you have sort of become, is the, I don't know, the interviewer of the year for EuRA. Because you've interviewed so many members, and it's so fantastic that they've put themselves forward to have discussions. You've developed the briefings, and without you keep telling me, no, we've got to extend the training for free longer and longer and longer. And me saying, but how on earth are we going to survive without any income? But we have. And I'd like to thank all the members for their paying their subscriptions. And if any of you out there are due to pay your subscription, please do so, because the only way we can keep going is if we have the funds. But I really want to thank everybody for everything that they've done for us, because EuRA is not just Tad and Dom and Bryony and Marie and even the board. It's everybody. Right. It's the strategic consultants. It's everybody. It's all the members, all the people who participate. And that's why it's a family. And I am very proud to be part of this and to have been part of this since it all began. But, you know, we will come out of this stronger. We will have a fantastic conference. We will have fantastic conferences in the future. And we will lead the world in its recovery by ensuring that the people get to the places that they have to be in order to work. So that's my final word.
Thank you, Tad. Adrian, final note from me. No New Year resolutions needed. I've been failing to keep fit during lockdown anyway. Is it beer o'clock yet?
Yes.
That is.
I think it is.
And Susan, thank you. EuRA has been the gold standard for gracious outreach and caring. I would just like to raise a glass to everybody, to our amazing members, to our amazing board members. Happy holidays. Goodbye 2020.
Happy holidays.
Yeah. Goodbye 2020.
Bring us all together again. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And bye-bye. Great to see you all. Thank you all for joining. This will be live on the YouTube channel. So, you know, we'll share that with everybody towards the end of the week or between Christmas. But in the meantime, happy holidays. Take care. Lovely to see you all. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Ooh, that one. There.